Hello, Zenith women, and welcome to the channel. The most powerful minds are the ones that refuse to fit into the world's predefined boxes. When we think about Sigma females, we picture enigmatic, fiercely independent women who don't just march to their own drum, they compose the entire symphony. Pair that with the complexities of neurodivergence, and you get a fascinating blend of traits that defy expectations and rewrite societal norms. Did you know that nearly 15 to 20% of the global population exhibits some form of neurodivergence, ranging from ADHD to autism, making these cognitive variations far more common than we're led to believe? Now, imagine a Sigma female navigating the world with a mind wired for deep introspection, unconventional thinking, and an allergy to small talk. Sounds like the plot of an avant-garde movie, right? But it's real life, and it's captivating. Get ready to explore why the mysterious Sigma female and the neurodivergent mind aren't just compatible. They might just be the ultimate power combo. And yes, somewhere between their eye rolls at societal norms and their refusal to attend pointless office parties, there's a sprinkle of humor waiting to surface. Number 1. A gift for visionary thinking. Sigma. Females are natural-born visionaries, and their ability to think beyond the immediate is nothing short of extraordinary. They possess a mental blueprint for the future that most people can't even begin to grasp. This isn't about idle daydreaming or wishful thinking. It's a deeply ingrained skill to connect seemingly unrelated ideas and see patterns that others overlook. While the average person might focus on the next step, Sigma females are already 10 moves ahead, charting a course through uncharted waters. This visionary thinking often comes from their neurodivergent tendencies, which push them to analyze situations from unconventional angles. Their minds aren't bound by the limitations of, "this is how it's always been done." Instead, they challenge outdated systems and traditions, seeing possibilities where others see dead ends. It's not about rebellion for rebellion's sake. It's about the relentless drive to create something meaningful and transformative. For them, the big picture isn't just an abstract idea. It's a tangible map with endless potential. They don't just see what's possible. They feel an unshakable responsibility to make it happen. This ability can lead them to careers in innovation, leadership, or art, where thinking differently isn't just encouraged but essential. However, it can also be isolating. Visionaries often walk alone because their ideas are too bold, too complex, or too ahead of their time for the crowd to understand. But Sigma females don't mind. They thrive in that space of solitude, refining their ideas until they're undeniable. It's this unique combination of foresight, creativity, and persistence that sets them apart. While others are busy catching up to today, Sigma females are quietly shaping tomorrow, and they wouldn't have it any other way. Number 2. Intense focus on personal projects. When Sigma females dive into a personal project, they don't just work on it. They immerse themselves in it with laser-like intensity. This isn't a fleeting interest or a casual hobby. It's an all-consuming focus that drives them to explore every angle, master every detail, and push boundaries others wouldn't dare approach. Whether it's designing a revolutionary business idea, creating a piece of art, or decoding a complex problem, their commitment to the task is almost unshakable. This intense focus mirrors the hyperfixation tendencies often observed in neurodivergent individuals. It's as though their minds are wired to block out distractions, allowing them to enter a state of flow that seems superhuman to the outside world. Hours, even days, can pass unnoticed as they work tirelessly toward their goal, fueled not by external rewards but by the sheer passion for what they're doing. However, this level of dedication also comes with its quirks. Sigma females often prioritize their projects over mundane responsibilities, forgetting to eat, sleep, or even respond to texts. Their obsession with perfection can make them stubbornly unwilling to stop until their vision matches the reality they're building. While others might view this as too much, for them it's the only way to truly create something exceptional. Yet what makes this trait so fascinating is not just the level of focus, but the unique paths they take. Sigma females tend to gravitate toward niche areas that others overlook, topics, skills, or industries deemed too unconventional or unimportant. But that's where their brilliance shines. They see the potential in the overlooked, the beauty in the obscure, and the opportunity in the impossible. This relentless focus, combined with their knack for originality, often leads to groundbreaking achievements that leave everyone wondering how they pulled it off. Number 3. Nonlinear thinking patterns. Sigma females excel at solving problems because their minds don't follow the usual straight lines most people rely on. Instead of moving step by step from point A to point B, their thinking resembles a web, dynamic, interconnected, and multidimensional. This nonlinear approach allows them to explore possibilities others might never even consider. They don't just ask, "What's the solution?" but also, "What if we redefine the problem entirely?" This thinking pattern is often linked to neurodivergent individuals who naturally break away from linear processes. For Sigma females, it's not about following a formula or sticking to a plan. They jump between ideas, connect seemingly unrelated concepts, and take intuitive leaps that can feel chaotic to outsiders, but make perfect sense to them. This mental agility helps them arrive at solutions that are not only unique, but often groundbreaking. While others might see a roadblock and stop to figure out how to go around it, Sigma females instinctively start exploring hidden paths, questioning why the roadblock exists in the first place, and sometimes even discovering new terrain no one else knew existed. This ability to reframe challenges often makes them the ones people turn to when conventional methods fail. Their nonlinear thinking isn't without its frustrations, though. The journey can be messy, and it might take longer to reach a conclusion because they explore so many possibilities. But when the answer does emerge, it's often a stroke of brilliance, a solution so creative and effective that it leaves others in awe. Sigma females thrive in complexity. Their ability to think in webs allows them to adapt to changing circumstances, solve intricate problems, and challenge the status quo, all while keeping their independence intact. It's not just thinking outside the box. For them, the box never existed in the first place. Number 4. Hypersensitivity to energy and environments. Sigma females possess an extraordinary sensitivity to the energy of their surroundings, as if they have an invisible radar that picks up every emotional undercurrent and subtle shift in the environment. This hypersensitivity isn't just about noticing someone's mood or reading between the lines of a conversation. It's a full-body experience that connects them to the world on a deeper level. They can walk into a room and immediately sense whether it's charged with tension, excitement, or unease. They don't need anyone to say a word. The energy speaks louder than anything verbal. This acute awareness is often linked to neurodivergent individuals who process sensory input more intensely than others. For Sigma females, this heightened sensitivity becomes a powerful tool, allowing them to navigate social dynamics, anticipate conflicts, and intuitively understand what others need. However, this trait can also be a double-edged sword. Being so finely attuned means they often absorb the energy of those around them, which can be overwhelming in chaotic or emotionally charged environments. Crowds, loud noises, or conflicting vibes can drain them quickly, leaving them desperate for solitude to reset and recharge. This sensitivity extends beyond people to physical spaces as well. Sigma females may feel uneasy in cluttered or poorly designed environments, drawn instead to spaces that are calm, balanced, and harmonious. They thrive in surroundings that reflect their inner need for peace and clarity. Despite its challenges, this hypersensitivity is a gift. It allows Sigma females to connect with people and places on a profound level, often noticing details that others miss. They use this awareness to create environments, relationships, and experiences that feel authentic and aligned, turning their sensitivity into one of their greatest strengths. Number 5. A love-hate relationship with structure. Sigma females have a paradoxical relationship with structure that's as fascinating as it is complex. On one hand, they understand the importance of structure in getting things done. They appreciate how it provides efficiency, organization, and a sense of predictability in a chaotic world. Deadlines, frameworks, and plans can be incredibly helpful tools in their pursuit of goals, but only up to a point. The moment structure begins to feel restrictive, their resistance kicks in. Rigid schedules and inflexible routines suffocate their creativity and individuality, leaving them restless and unmotivated. They thrive on the freedom to adapt, pivot, and explore new possibilities as they arise. This love-hate dynamic mirrors neurodivergent tendencies, where creativity often blossoms in the absence of strict constraints. For Sigma females, too much structure can feel like walking through life in handcuffs. They can move, but not the way they want to. What sets them apart is their ability to strike a unique balance. They don't abandon structure entirely, they simply modify it to suit their needs. Instead of rigid to-do lists, they prefer loose outlines that leave room for spontaneity. Instead of micromanaging their day, they prioritize based on intuition and energy levels. It's not chaos. It's controlled fluidity, a system that makes perfect sense to them, even if it looks unconventional from the outside. This flexibility allows Sigma females to be both highly productive and deeply creative. They can harness structure when it's useful, but discard it when it starts to stifle their flow. It's a mindset that lets them navigate the world on their terms, efficient when they need to be, but always with the freedom to chart their own course. In their world, structure is a tool, not a master. Number 6, emotional regulation challenges. Sigma females are no strangers to emotional intensity. Their inner world runs deep, with feelings that aren't just experienced, but lived in vivid, sometimes overwhelming detail. This depth is both a gift and a challenge. While it allows them to connect with their passions, understand others on a profound level, and experience life in rich hues, it also makes emotional regulation a tricky terrain to navigate. For them, emotions aren't easily compartmentalized or brushed aside. A minor slight can feel like a gaping wound, while a moment of joy can be utterly transformative. This heightened emotional experience is often shared by neurodivergent individuals, who process feelings with a vividness that most people can't fathom. Sigma females, however, don't necessarily see this as a weakness. They recognize the power in feeling deeply. It's what fuels their creativity, empathy, and resilience. The challenge comes when emotions grow too overwhelming. A sudden rush of anger, sadness, or even excitement can disrupt their focus and leave them scrambling to regain equilibrium. While they might appear calm and composed on the outside, their inner world can sometimes feel like a storm they can't quite tame. This struggle is compounded by their tendency to deal with emotions alone, avoiding the vulnerability of asking for help or opening up to others. Over time, many Sigma females learn to manage these emotional waves by channeling them into productive outlets. Writing, creating, problem-solving, or even retreating into solitude becomes a way to process and restore balance. They embrace their emotional depth as a source of strength, even if it occasionally tips the scales. For them, the challenge isn't in feeling too much. It's in mastering the art of riding the waves without letting them pull them under. Number 7. Hyper-awareness of injustice. Sigma females have an innate radar for injustice, one that operates with almost surgical precision. They don't just see the blatant inequalities that others might notice. They pick up on the subtle, insidious biases that hide in plain sight. Whether it's a slight shift in tone, an unspoken double standard, or a societal norm that quietly perpetuates harm, they notice it all. And once they do, they can't unsee it. This hyper-awareness often stems from their heightened sense of moral clarity, a trait commonly found in neurodivergent individuals who have a deep, intrinsic understanding of right and wrong. For Sigma females, fairness isn't just an abstract principle. It's a non-negotiable foundation for how they believe the world should operate. They don't tolerate hypocrisy, favoritism, or injustice in any form, and they're not afraid to speak up, even if it makes them unpopular. Their obsession with fairness can manifest in a variety of ways. They might champion the underdog in social settings, call out systemic inequities in their workplace, or advocate for causes that align with their values. This isn't about virtue signaling or seeking recognition. It's about aligning their actions with their beliefs. If they see a wrong, they feel compelled to address it, often with a passion that can intimidate those who prefer to maintain the status quo. However, this trait can be both a strength and a burden. Their constant awareness of injustice means they often carry emotional weight that others don't, feeling deeply frustrated by the world's unwillingness to change. Still, they refuse to back down. For Sigma females, their fight for fairness isn't just a battle, it's a calling, one that defines their sense of purpose and drives them to create a better, more equitable world. Number 8. Obsessive curiosity about human nature. Sigma females have a relentless curiosity about what makes people tick. They aren't satisfied with surface-level observations. They want to peel back the layers and understand the why behind every action, choice, and reaction. This obsessive fascination with human nature isn't a casual interest. It's a driving force in their lives. They seek to decode the complexities of behavior, motivations, and emotions with the same intensity that some might reserve for solving a mystery. Their curiosity often mirrors the hyper-focus seen in neurodivergent individuals. When a question about human behavior catches their attention, they dive deep, consuming psychology books, observing interactions, or analyzing their own experiences to find answers. It's not uncommon for them to lose hours unraveling a single thread of thought about why people act the way they do. For them, understanding human nature isn't just a pastime, it's a way to make sense of the world. This fascination extends to all areas of life, from personal relationships to societal dynamics. They're the ones who notice the tension in a room before anyone else, or pick up on the unspoken insecurities of someone trying too hard to impress. Their ability to see beyond the obvious allows them to connect with people on a deeper level, often offering insights that others would never have considered. However, this constant analysis can also be exhausting. Their minds rarely switch off, always searching for patterns, hidden truths, or unresolved questions. While their curiosity helps them understand people better, it can also lead to frustration when they uncover inconsistencies, manipulations, or truths that others would rather ignore. Still, they wouldn't trade this obsession for anything. For Sigma females, understanding the intricacies of human nature isn't just an interest. It's an essential part of how they navigate and thrive in an often perplexing world. Number 9. A complex relationship with routine. Sigma females often walk a fine line between chaos and order, embracing the freedom of spontaneity while simultaneously needing certain routines to ground themselves. It's a paradox that reflects the complexity of their inner worlds. On one hand, they reject the rigidity of a structured life, craving the fluidity to explore, create, and evolve without the constraints of a clock. On the other hand, they recognize that some degree of routine is essential to maintaining their energy and focus. This dance between structure and flexibility can be confusing to others, especially because Sigma females are known for their independence and aversion to being confined by schedules. They'll often resist overly rigid plans, preferring to make decisions on the fly or work in bursts of inspiration. Too much structure feels stifling, like a leash pulling them back when they're trying to run free. Yet despite their resistance to overplanning, they also find comfort in some level of routine, especially when it brings them balance. For example, while they might resist a 9-to-5 job or a strict calendar, they may develop rituals that help them stay centered. A morning coffee routine, a quiet moment of reflection before starting work, or a set time for exercise can serve as anchors in their often chaotic lives. These routines aren't about controlling their every move. They're about providing stability in a world that constantly demands change and adaptation. This complex relationship with routine mirrors the experience of many neurodivergent individuals who may thrive in an environment that allows for both spontaneous creativity and moments of structured stability. Sigma females understand the value of this balance. They need just enough routine to keep their lives from spinning out of control, but not so much that it curbs their freedom. It's a delicate equilibrium, one that requires constant recalibration as they navigate the ebb and flow of their unpredictable yet purposeful existence. Number 10. Difficulty in finding their people. Sigma females often find themselves standing at the edges of social circles, observing rather than participating. They don't quite fit into mainstream groups, and as much as they may try to, the connection just doesn't seem to click. It's not that they don't crave relationships or meaningful connections. On the contrary, they're deeply introspective and capable of forming incredibly rich bonds. The problem is, their complexity, independence, and depth often make them feel like outsiders in spaces that prioritize conformity, small talk, and surface-level interactions. This sense of being different isn't necessarily about having unusual interests or behaviors. It's about a fundamental difference in how they approach life and people. Sigma females seek depth in relationships, something more than just social validation or shared hobbies. They want authenticity, intellectual stimulation, and a connection that goes beyond the mundane. This makes mainstream social settings feel shallow or draining, and they often find themselves retreating rather than blending in. Much like neurodivergent individuals, who often struggle to find communities that truly understand the nuances of their thinking and emotional depth, Sigma females face a similar challenge. They might try to conform or fit into groups, but the more they try, the more disconnected they feel. It's not about not liking people. It's about not finding people who get them. However, this challenge isn't always a bad thing. Sigma females often thrive in solitude, finding fulfillment in their own company. They're selective with who they allow into their inner circle, waiting for those rare individuals who resonate with their complexity and share their values. It's not easy, but when they do find their people, it's a bond like no other, authentic, profound, and truly mutual. As we reflect on the intricacies of the Sigma female, her independence, depth, and nuanced approach to life, it's clear that she stands apart not just by choice, but by the very nature of who she is. From her intense focus on personal passions to her deeply rooted sense of fairness, Sigma females aren't just navigating the world, they're reshaping it in ways that others might not immediately understand. Their complexities, though at times misunderstood, are what make them truly extraordinary. They may not always fit in, but they're not meant to. They are the ones who chart their own paths, crafting lives that are as unconventional as they are brilliant. As the new year unfolds, may it bring you opportunities to embrace your uniqueness, to revel in your quirks, and to connect with those who see you for who you truly are. Here's to the Sigma females who fearlessly march to their own rhythm, creating beauty, depth, and meaning in everything they do. May 2025 be a year of discovering more about yourself, achieving your wildest dreams, and continuing to stand as a beacon of strength and authenticity. Happy New Year. Keep shining unapologetically. Your journey is one to be celebrated. As we dive into the new year and celebrate the incredible qualities that make Sigma females so unique, don't forget to stay connected with us for even more insightful content. If you've enjoyed this deep dive into the remarkable mindset and life of the Sigma female, be sure to hit that subscribe button and join our community. There's so much more to explore, discuss, and celebrate, and we'd love to have you along for the journey. Subscribe now, and let's continue to learn, grow, and challenge the norms together. Here's to a year of discovery, empowerment, and authenticity. Stay tuned. You won't want to miss what's coming next.